Well, good morning, folks, and welcome to the report for this week. And we're roughly in the middle of the month now, and you can see we've had quite a up and down sort of couple of weeks. And I'm going to have a look at both the pound and the euro. Once again, I sent out a report on the dollar yen to you on Thursday, I think it was, detailing the current kind of plan of attack. You can go and have a look at that on that report which I sent out to you, and decide what you want to do with that information. I'm not going to be covering the dollar yen in my daily trading or in my reports at the moment for the reasons which I explained before, because that currency has been pretty difficult to trade at these very extreme levels, and there was always talk of intervention, and it's just been a very choppy, messy, non-technical sort of setup. So as I've said in my charter group sessions and in the lab rat sessions, I'm going to be ignoring the dollar yen for the immediate future. What I've got on the screen here is the euro, and this is the hourly chart. The first thing I'm going to do is have a look at the weekly chart and determine the direction and the reversal level for this current week. So we'll switch across to the weekly chart. Just ignore the indicators for now because they're not applicable to the weekly chart, but they are applicable naturally to the hourly chart. So let's have a look at what we've got here. Well, there's last week's candle, and you can see that in fact what we've got is a bearish engulfing candle, engulfing the entire body of the previous week. We do have a higher high and a higher low though. So in essence, really, we've got a bit of a mixed signal: higher high, higher low, which in itself is kind of bullish. But if you have a look at the candle itself, it's bearish. A big bearish engulfing candle. So what I'm going to say for this week is that we could trade the euro in either direction, and we'll be looking to buy on dips or to sell into rallies, and I'll be quite comfortable in trading that in either direction. So let's switch across to the hourly chart and have a look at what's been going on over the last week or so. And I'm just going to remove this toolbar because we don't need it anymore. And if we have a look at the euro, if we have a look at the entire period of last week, you can see we've had this sort of ranged up and down movement with, well, quite difficult to trade really, but we managed to pick up some profit during the week. And for those who've been trading live with me, you'll remember this waterfall pattern, which I spoke about in one of the previous videos. And this is the early part of the week, this waterfall pattern. And then we had this very choppy, rangy sort of stuff for the balance of the week. And so we're still looking to buy the euro into dips, basically. Or to sell into rallies, the way things are now in terms of sort of an ambivalent weekly chart. And of interest, you can see that if I just zoom out a little bit more, you can see this level here, this black line, which is a previous support level, also is the 78.6% retracement of the move from this low up to this high. And we pulled all the way back down to the 78.6%, and we held above there, apart from a brief dip below there on Friday or Thursday. I think it was on Thursday. And we came up to the weekend, more bouncing around, and we've just broken up through the top of that range now in the early hours of the Asian session. So where will we look to trade this? I'm just going to remove this for now because we don't need it any longer. So we'll be looking to buy dips somewhere down here. I'm just going to remove these lines as well. And the dips that we'd be looking to buy into would be down near these lower Bollinger Bands and these support levels. And I'll go into this in more detail during the live session. But there's a natural support level right there. And so that's one of the areas that we'd be looking to buy into. You can see if we scoot along back into the past, this black line's been pertinent all along. So that's the only support level beneath us at the moment. And as for resistance levels, I'm going to put the Fibonacci in the opposite direction now, from the top down to the bottom, and you can see the various Fibonacci levels that we're approaching. We've broken through the 50% fib, which is also more or less the top of this range. We've also broken through the moving averages, and there's the resistance levels above us: 61.8% at 1.2813, and then we've got 1.2860, which is the 78.6%. So we've got a bunch of resistance levels above us. We've got one or two support levels beneath us, and so I'm open to trading the euro in either direction this week. If I had to pick a direction, if I was forced to pick one, I would say let's look to sell the euro into rallies. Let's see what comes up along this week as we go along, and we'll see what happens when we get to some of these levels, see if there's any G7 entry signals. Right now, got a little bit of a spike high forming. It's just before the top of the hour, but if that is a spike high, we won't know until the hour closes in about 10 minutes time. We'd have to wait for another spike in any event to confirm it. So that's the euro, and just going to save that and then get rid of this chart. Let's have a look at the pound, and I'm going to go across to the weekly chart on the pound as well. And excuse me, once again, don't worry about the lines on the chart, because I've just basically switched across. It's going to move that red line. That's the weekly reversal level. Actually, what I'm going to do is just move that higher, because we'll use that shortly. So these lines on the chart are really irrelevant because they pertain to the hourly chart instead. And let's just zoom in there and have a look. Now you can see last week's candle. It's pretty clear. We have a lower high and a lower low and a bearish candle. So the direction for the pound for this week is also bearish. We've been bearish for quite some time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're into the 6th bearish week right now, and there's been little doubt about the direction of the pound. Every week we've just had lower highs and lower lows and bearish candle bodies, so we'll carry on with that direction. Weekly reversal level now will be at the top of this area here, the high of last week. So we're looking to sell as long as we're beneath last week's high. And let's just move this down. It all looks a bit congested here, just because it's a weekly chart with the hourly chart stuff on it. But what I want to do is just move this to the high of last week, which is right there. Alright, so now I've got the weekly reversal level. As long as we're beneath there, we're looking to sell the pound into rallies. If we move above there, then the weekly direction is reversed to bullish. So let's go back to the to the hourly chart and get rid of that thing on the top there. And so you can see we're quite a long way beneath the weekly reversal level. So you know we can still rally up quite a lot higher. As it stands at the moment, we're a bit overbought on the stochastic, and we're right up at these moving averages, which are now the resistance levels. And again, it's near the top of the hour, so it'll be interesting to see what happens if and when we reach there. Remove some of the clutter from the chart and remove that. And what I want to see is where the Fibonacci's lie, because looking to sell into rallies, so I want to draw the Fibonacci from the top down to this last swing high. And you can see we're just at the 38% Fibonacci retracement, which is also where the 200 period moving averages are. So we've got a good deal of resistance there, and with a bit of luck, that also might just be a black line. Let's just put a line there just out of interest, and then just scoot across this black line. So no, nothing really that relevant. So all we've got there is a Fibonacci level and the 2 moving averages, which is good enough in itself. We've got an overbought stochastic. Be interesting to see what happens with the pound at the top of this hour, or perhaps in hours to come. So looking to sell the pound into rallies whilst we're beneath 55.30. We're at 54.20 right now, so we're still quite some way beneath the weekly reversal level, and we're looking to sell into rallies as long as we're beneath there. Euro, either direction for this week, and I'll see you in live sessions during the week, and good luck. Looking forward to a great trading week.